you just like, oh, I can't stand this. If I hate this, I don't want to do this, that, and the other. You're saying to yourself, oh, I'm going to change this at the end of the year, or I'm going to change this at the end of the month, or I'm going to change this, in 2 weeks. If there's something about your life you really, really can't stand, and it's your life, then change it now.
Exactly.
Make the necessary steps to change it now, because tomorrow and next week and next week and next week, it never comes. And I would agree with that, definitely wholeheartedly. In the
but
way
but on the level of visualization, which I know is our topic, it may seem like we're slightly off topic, but everyone, I just want to tell you we really are not, because like the example you just used, okay, so perhaps that person physically or financially decides they don't want to make that change for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years even. They can make that change right now and still be in that job, because they
Absolutely.
can go into a space where they can visualize who it is and how it is you want to be. And then that's going to help accelerate and be the catalyst to bring you to that, and may very well shock you. I am always amazed how when I am in my deepest place of faith and trust in the intentions I am moving towards or I am declaring, the stuff just shows up like, sometimes seems like magic.
Absolutely.
And the reason I say this is all still about visualization is that I can go into a breathing and getting quiet and relaxing, closing my eyes, thinking and doing my best over time to get into a feeling place of who I want to be if I'm not that right at this moment, where I want to be, how I want to feel, what sort of environment I want to experience, and actually not have it in physical reality when I open my eyes, but I can get into that space in my visualizing and in my imagining that it feels so good. It stays in the forefront of my mind. I think about it more, which means I pay attention then for those things that are out there that have been waiting for me to get connected to it, and those things start to attract to us. And the challenge, though, at least for me sometimes, because I'm not perfect at it, it's a work in progress always. You always want to, okay, so I got to this one, now what's next? And so when you're visualizing, like just today, I was doing, a friend of mine, long friend of mine that I went to college with, we have reconnected, and he called up and he said, hey, let's do the visualization together. Remember when we used to do, you hit me to that. It was called creative visualization. That lady wrote the book, and I've been doing that for like 20 years, and it's awesome. He said, let me give back to you, is really what he was saying, or at least that's how I received it. And he said, let me take you through a visualization for whatever it is you want, and let me help connect your energy deeper to that. So we did that today, and the thing I found, there was one thing within it where I realized, I've got some tension connected there. My muscles weren't as relaxed right in that moment. It was a specific aspect of that visualization about what I want and what intention I've set, and I realized, I've got a block there. Like I'm not ready to receive that part, but I want to be, and so I need to focus on that and get better with it, do some mirror work, and really breathe into it so that when I'm doing the visualization, I can be totally relaxed, because we could get really relaxed and then come up on some self-talk that's really negative, or that we've heard that we're still believing, and we're telling ourselves, oh, no, I don't believe it, I don't believe it. If it's still in there, it's going to get in the way. So that mirror work and that surrounding yourself with people, the gratitude, getting into a space where you're recognizing what is going to support you and what you really already have. It's going to give you the support for those visualizations to be even stronger. And I would say this, if people are visualizing or meditating or whatever combination of those things that they do or that people do, and when you get into your visualization or your meditation or that combination, you don't feel yourself feeling just wonderful, like you want to smile or laugh, or it just is like you get goosebumps, or however it is that makes you feel good, think about something that has made you feel that way and try and bring that feeling to it, because you've got to get in a space where it is something that feels so good you want to feel it all the time.
Absolutely. And one of the things you just mentioned, you made all the sense in the world, and I want to piggyback on that. You were talking about how, getting your mind in a space of transition or change or where you want to be without immediately physically being there. If you do that, the way I've actually explained it to someone recently is like, for example, if you don't like your job and you really want to be an artist, but you can't financially for whatever reason, leave at this moment, but say you want to do it 2 years down the line, and I've had a conversation about this recently, don't be upset. You have a job, you're paying your bills, you're taking care of things. Start to think of that job, or whatever it is that you're doing as an investment. If you're buying equipment and tools or whatever to do what it is that you love, then start to look at that job that you have as an investment in the meantime until you fully make your transition. And that'll change your perception and perspective on it. And I think that can apply to a lot of things. If you have to wait it out or you have to move things around, I think sometimes looking at, the situation a bit differently and how it's supporting the thing that makes you feel best sort of switches it around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we have to be able to also reframe how that self-talk, that we've talked about a lot already, but we have to be able to reframe and put a new shift in it. I won't even say a paradigm, because for some people it's not that huge. It's just a change of non-supportive self-talk and non-supportive thoughts to, okay, what would be the opposite of that? How do I want to be in that? And what is a description that I can perhaps, sometimes I'll suggest to people, write it on a 3x5 card. Think about, okay, so what's that negative visualization you've been doing, or what is that thing that's non-supportive that you're just creating into this monster, like you go see. I don't watch horror movies, by the way, because I'm too visual.
Yeah, and my mother doesn't either. She doesn't watch horror movies or war movies for that reason.
Yeah, and the mind and your body doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. Wasn't that Einstein who said imagination is more powerful than knowledge? Because you can imagine and visualize something you want to create in the world and bring into manifestation and not have a clue how to do it. You may not have the knowledge to know how to do it, but you will be amazed when you allow yourself to receive that you deserve to create it, that you can create it, that it is possible to be created. The support, not only that the universe, that other people want to buy into things that are positive and that are that help them also feel inspired to follow their vision and their dream. And
Truly.
you'd be amazed. When I did my most recent personal vision board, I keep my vision board or dream board, some people call them treasure maps, on my wall next to my bed, so when I wake up, it's I can see it right away. When I put that one up on the wall, my 11-year-old daughter came in the room. There was a chair that used to sit right in front of it so I could visualize on it and meditate with it. And she stood in that chair and she looked at every single thing on my vision board, my dream board. She said, "Mom, I didn't know you wanted a new wardrobe." And the reason I'm saying that is, if we also take that supportive group, those supportive people who we know are of like mind, and share and expose them to our vision, that doesn't mean you have to, give them your whole plan. And, I'm not talking about those who are of the mind that, you just keep it to yourself. I'm talking about to kind of enlist the energy and support of others who you are certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, will support you. And I have seen it time after time after time when we've done our vision board or dream board workshops, people sharing their vision boards, And even before the workshop's done, people connecting and going, hey, I know somebody who does that. Or, hey, oh, you need that? I've got that. And sometimes it's just a matter of trusting that we deserve it and trusting that it's okay to share it with people of like mind, and the floodgates open.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So what I want to do is just make sure I make a quick note to our listeners again. If you have a question, just go ahead and post it on the Facebook page, www.facebook.com/IgniteYourSoulConnection, or press 1 on your touch-tone keypad or mobile device, and we'll make sure that we get to you. So I want to go ahead and start discussing your methodologies or processes. Someone just, where do we start? If we want to start taking on some of these ideas, if someone is listening and they're like, I want to do that, I want to get into that, what do I do? What would be the place to start?
It's not a hard question, but that's a question that I feel like there's not one kind of rote, pat answer, because there are many things that work for many people. My first thought would be to say, come to the Dream Board workshop, where we walk you through it, like really literally, almost literally hold your hand. But also, some people maybe are more private, or maybe some people can't make it, or can't afford it, or don't have the time, or whatever the reasons are. I honestly think that the best place to start is writing it down, because you got to get it out of your head. You want to feel it in your body, but you've got to get it out of your head and see it on paper. Then you want to put some I hesitate to say deadlines, because you can get to that, but you want to put some dates to it, because you can say, oh, okay, I want to do XYZ. Well, XYZ will be there 10 years from now if you don't decide when you want to bring it into manifestation, because then you don't have a goal to work toward. So you can take 10 years to get there, rather than if you say, I want to be there in a year from now. You're going to act differently. You're going to make different decisions. You're going to make different choices. You might spend your money differently. You might spend your time differently. You might ask differently.
Yeah, and you start to shape your conversations. Even when you're speaking with people, if you have different things that are on the table, and you're in a meeting with someone, even if it's just exploratory, even if it's just coffee, the conversation changes when you've made a decision on what's a priority in your life right now.
Right. As opposed to it just being this idea, because it stays an idea until you give it a date to be born, right? So give it a birth date. So I would say, don't you could start out with a sheet of paper, but don't really leave it on a sheet of paper unless you intend to tape that sheet of paper to your mirror in your bathroom. Most of us I doubt there's anybody on this call or in the world probably that doesn't get up and look in a mirror every day in the morning. So that's always a good place to post those things. My kids get tired of me sometimes, because I'll post up affirmations, or I have my music that I listen to in the morning that includes some affirmations. It includes certain specific songs that keep me clear. I've, of course, intentionally chosen them because they have words and they support what I'm wanting in my life. And they may change over time. So I think, and it gets you fired up for your day. So you've got to get it down. You've got to get it in front of your face and put a birth date to it, because what's going to happen is you're going to be shocked. Now, you might adjust that date as you go along that year. You might realize, oh, wow, this is manifesting quick. Like, I want it now. It's manifesting now. Or I changed my mind. I want to wait maybe another year for that. I really want this other thing. And that's okay, too. Like, for example, with my own company, I did some strategic planning, and I've decided that although it was risky in some people's minds, and perhaps a little, very unknown for me, I made a decision to stop taking on certain sorts of projects.